A beautiful, voluptuous woman goes to a gynecologist. The doctor takes one look at this woman, and all his professionalism goes out the window. He immediately tells her to undress. After she has disrobed, he begins to stroke her thigh. As he does this, he says to the woman, "Do you know what I'm doing?" "Yes," she says. "You're checking for any abrasions or dermatological abnormalities." "That is correct," says the doctor. He then begins to fondle her breasts. "Do you know what I'm doing now?" he asks. "Yes," says the woman. "You're checking for any lumps or breast cancer." "That's right," replies the doctor. He then begins to have sexual intercourse with the woman. He says to her, "Do you know what I'm doing now?" "Yes," she says. "You're getting herpes, which is why I came here in the first place." Steve was proudly showing off his new apartment to a couple of his friends late one night. When they made it to the bedroom, they saw a big brass gong next to the bed. "What's a big brass gong doing in your bedroom?" one of the guests asked. "It's not a gong, it's a talking clock," Steve replied. "A talking clock? Seriously?" asked his astonished friend. "Yup," replied Steve. "How's it work?" the friend asked, squinting at it. "Watch," Steve replied. He picked up the mallet, gave it an ear-shattering pound, and stepped back. The three stood looking at one another for a moment. Suddenly, someone on the other side of the wall screamed, "You asshole, it's 3 o'clock in the morning!" A woman places a personal ad in the paper that reads, "Looking for a man who won't beat me, won't run out on me, and is good in bed." Days later, her doorbell rings, and she opens the door to find a man with no arms or legs. "I'm here in response to your ad," he says. "I don't have arms, so I can't beat you, and I don't have legs, so I can't run out on you. But I need a good lover too," replies the woman. "I rang the doorbell, didn't I?" grins the man. A woman was having a passionate affair with an inspector from a pest control company. One afternoon, they were carrying on in the bedroom together when her husband arrived home unexpectedly. "Quick," said the woman to her lover, "into the closet." She bundled him in the closet, stark naked. The husband, however, became suspicious, and after a search of the bedroom, discovered the man in the closet. "Who are you?" he asked him. "I'm an inspector from Bugs Be Gone." "What are you doing in there?" "I'm investigating a complaint about an infestation of moths." "And where are your clothes?" asked the husband. The man looked down at himself and said, "Those little bastards." An old farmer went to town to see a movie. The ticket agent asked, "Sir, what's that on your shoulder?" The old farmer said, "That's my pet rooster, Chucky. Wherever I go, Chucky goes." "I'm sorry, sir," said the ticket agent. "We don't allow animals in the theater." The old farmer went around the corner and stuffed the bird down his pants. He returned to the booth, bought a ticket, and entered the theater. He sat down next to two old widows named Mildred and Marge. The movie started, and the rooster began to squirm. The old farmer unzipped his pants so Chucky could stick his head out and watch the movie. "Marge," whispered Mildred. "What?" said Marge. "I think this guy next to me is a pervert," said Mildred. "What makes you think that?" asked Marge. "He unzipped his pants, and he has his thing out," whispered Mildred. "Well, don't worry about it," said Marge. "At our age, we've seen them all." "I thought so," said Mildred, "but this one is eating my popcorn." A young man was lost, wandering in a forest, when he came upon a small house. He knocked on the door and was greeted by an ancient Chinese man with a long grey beard. "I'm lost," said the man. "Can you put me up for the night?" "Certainly," the Chinese man said, "but on one condition. If you so much as lay a finger on my daughter, I will inflict upon you the 3 worst Chinese tortures known to man." "Okay," said the man, thinking that the daughter must be pretty old as well. and entered the house. Before dinner, the daughter came down the stairs. She was young, beautiful, and had a fantastic figure. She was obviously attracted to the young man since she couldn't keep her eyes off him during the meal. Remembering the old man's warning, he ignored her and went up to bed alone. But during the night, he could bear it no longer and sneaked into her room for a night of passion. He was careful to keep everything quiet so the old man wouldn't hear. Near dawn, he crept back to his room, exhausted but happy. He woke to feel a pressure on his chest. Opening his eyes, he saw a large rock on his chest with a note on it that read, "Chinese torture. 1. Large rock on chest." Well, that's pretty crappy, he thought. If that's the best the old man can do, then I don't have much to worry about. He picked the boulder up, walked over to the window, and threw the boulder out. As he did so, he noticed another note on it that read, "Chinese torture 2, rock tied to left testicle." In a panic, he glanced down and saw the rope that was already getting close to the end. Figuring that a few broken bones was better than castration, he jumped out of the window after the boulder. As he plummeted downward, he saw a large sign on the ground that read, "Chinese torture 3, right testicle, tied to bedpost." Bill Gates meets Hugh Grant at a Hollywood party. They are talking, and Bill says, "I've seen some great pictures of Divine Brown lately. I sure would like to get together with her." Hugh replies, "Well, Bill, you know ever since our incident, her price has skyrocketed. She's charging a small fortune." Bill, "Hugh, money's no object to me. What's her number?" So Hugh gives Bill her number and Bill sets up a date. They meet, and after they finish, Bill is lying there in ecstasy, mumbling, "God, now I know why you chose the name Divine." To which she replies, "Thank you, Bill. And now I know how you chose the name. Microsoft." A secretary for a foreign embassy was entertaining a wealthy foreign ambassador during lunch at a very expensive restaurant in uptown New York. The ambassador was so enthralled by the beauty and presence of this secretary that he asked her to marry him. The secretary was startled, but remembered that her boss told her never to insult foreign dignitaries, so she decided to let him down easy. "I'll only marry you under 3 conditions." "Anything, anything," said the ambassador. "First, you must buy me a 14-carat gold wedding band with a 72-carat diamond, along with a 28-inch studded matching necklace for our engagement." Without hesitation, the ambassador picked up his cellular phone, called his personal accountant, told him the instructions and said, "Yes, yes, I buy." The secretary thought that her first request was too easy, so she thought of a more difficult situation. "Second, I want you to build me a 58-acre mansion in the richest part of the Poconos, along with a 40-acre summer home in the sweetest vineyards of Italy." The ambassador picked up his phone, called his personal broker in New York, then called another broker in Italy, and after his quick conversation, he said, "Yes, yes, I build." The secretary was very startled and knew she must think of a final request that would be impossible to live up to. Finally, she said, "I'll only marry you if you have a 10-inch penis." A sad face befell the ambassador, and he cupped his face in his hands. After weeping in his native language for a few minutes, the ambassador slowly lifted his head and said, Okay, I cut. My friends, if you want to watch other funny jokes, subscribe to the channel.